Welcome to Preschool All Stars podcast. I'm your host, Reese Ellison, and with me today is our Preschool All Star, Lauren Jones. Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. All right, so let me go ahead and ask some simple questions for you. What was your life like before you found Preschool All Stars? And what were kind of some of the things that you were struggling with?
So I kind of left the classroom after 17 years. And so I was definitely having a hard time finding my place where I could continue to still do that education side of things without the politics that's in the education system.
Right.
And so I really kind of struggled with that. I knew that I did not want to go back into the classroom, but I did miss working with the children. So I kind of just was trying to find something that would be within my wheelhouse that I could use to, pay the bills, but
Right.
enjoy what I was doing still.
Right.
Um, and so it was a bit crazy, actually. I went completely off the charts and went a completely different direction into insurance. And it wasn't great. And so I kind of was just still trying to just find that place where I could do what I knew and what I loved and be able to make that work for me.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Sounds like a lot of our stories. So once you found Preschool All Stars, why did you decide to join?
So I saw it pop up several times and I kept looking at it and I kept looking at it. And it was one of those things where it kept talking about start your own preschool. And I was like, I don't want to really necessarily do my own preschool, but maybe this is something I need to look into. And then I was talking with someone else and they said, oh, you should get this book. And it turned out that it was the same thing that I had been looking at with the preschool system. And so I went ahead and I got the book and I read it and I decided that maybe I could give it a go and still be able to do that from the kindergarten aspect, not necessarily the preschool aspect,
Awesome.
because that's what I primarily was teaching.
Oh, that's awesome. See, all right. So that kind of leads us in right into our next question. So tell us a little bit about the program that you're creating. What does that look like? What is it that you're doing?
So my goal is to be able to have an online kindergarten program for parents that want to homeschool, but don't necessarily know how to do that specifically. And maybe they need a little help getting started. Maybe they just need some resources to be able to have some supplemental things. So I do also have the hub where they can use the videos and have access to the videos. Um, and, I kind of just want it to look like an online kindergarten where kids can come, they can get what they need without having to be sitting in front of a computer all day long kind of
Right.
concept, because it's not necessary.
Oh, awesome. And so with that, do you teach live or what are you thinking for your kindergarten?
Right. So I would teach live. I would do twice a week for about 2 hours. That gives me an hour of math and an hour of reading, which is the
Oh,
main
nice.
focus for kindergarten. And really within that, twice a week, that gives them the opportunity to be able to learn those necessary skills for kindergarten and without all the fluff and foolishness that happens in the classroom that is wasted time, so to speak,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that direct hour of instruction twice a week on math is more valuable than what they get in a full day in a classroom, aside from obviously that hands-on learning. But I
Right.
hope that's where that bridge would come in of they could get that direct instruction for those 2 hours twice a week. And then they would be able to supplement on their own with hands-on activities outside of that at
Right.
home, doing crafts or activities, maybe doing some of those interactive videos, those kinds of things.
Oh, cool. And so where do you see your program, your business going in the next 3 to 5 years?
I would love for it to be something that helps that homeschool side of things. I think there are
Uh-huh.
more people leaning more towards homeschooling with the way the education system is, number one, and then number two, just the safety of children in that regular school setting is becoming more and more of an issue. And so I hope to make that something that's a safe space where they can feel comfortable that their children are still going to get what they need, that they would have gotten, or even more than they would have gotten in that traditional classroom setting, but things that are much more developmentally appropriate in the safety of their own home.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. So how is your life better now that you've joined Preschool All Stars?
Well, it hasn't quite taken off yet. Because I did start at the beginning of the school year when I started the program, I started in October.
Okay.
And so, because of that, there's a hesitation, obviously, with a lot of parents in that they've already maybe started the school year. They're not sure how to jump in the middle of the year. What's that going to look like for their kid and things like that. So my goal is to be able to really push towards the end of the school year and over the summer where
Mhm.
they can start the school year out. And so maybe they have um, a child who needs to redo some of those kindergarten skills, or maybe they have a child who is getting ready to go into kindergarten, but they're feeling uneasy about that. And so they just want to have that peace of mind before school starts that they have this other option available to them.
Cool. Oh, awesome. So if someone was on the fence about joining Preschool All Stars, what would you tell her?
I would say it is definitely worth the investment. Um, the support that was given was huge. I did have the luxury that I had already stopped teaching in the classroom. So I had the drive, determination, and free time to work through that initial part of the program pretty quickly. But there were still some things that, even though I was understanding what to do and how to get it set up, there were still some things that I just wasn't sure on or I got stuck on. There were issues with the program transferring a little bit. Um, and there was always people available, instantly available. So I was able to have the Facebook groups and the messenger group to be able to lean on those people for helping design my logo, my name, all of those things
Oh, awesome.
were right there at my fingertips. And then
Right.
I also had examples constantly of, well, this is kind of what I'm doing. This is how I'm making it work. Or I'm not really sure. I'm struggling to get, people on board. Okay, maybe try this for your advertising or the way that you're presenting it or things like that. So it's all just like right there at your fingertips. I also appreciated with the hub within that to be able to have everything for that website right there. I mean, it's literally done for you, and all you have to do is just follow the directions,
Right.
really. And I mean, and it was so easy. And as someone who has designed websites and things for other people, it was nice to not have to put all of my own energy into that, so to speak, and just have it right there. All I had to do was just follow the steps, and it was done, and it was ready to go. I didn't have to stress about, is it going to show up correctly? Is it going to have my logo in the right spot? Is it going to, all of that was done for me. And then having a place to house it, having a place that you could put your extra resources and things financially, as I have used other platforms and things, was a phenomenal deal. in the
Right. The
sense of
hub is worth every penny.
it is. And I mean, you got everything right there for you at this one low price without sounding like a infomercial, but
Right.
it's true. I mean, it really was just like this, this one low price. And if you do it, then hey, you've got all of this. And they're not exaggerating. They're not lying when they say that. They're not just trying to build up their product. It really is exactly what they say that it is, which is nice because there's so many scams and things out there that you just don't know. And
Right.
and this wasn't that. I mean, it literally is just right there, and the people are right there to help you. They have these tech days that you can go if you still get stuck with certain things and you're not sure, you can go onto those and they can help you out individually, real time on your screen. Um, so from that perspective, it made it easier for me to move through that process of getting everything set up rather quickly because I did have some background knowledge with a lot of that setting those things up. Um, and it definitely changed everything in that perspective of like, okay, they took the hard part out of it. Now all I have to do is find the people to teach.
Right. Exactly. Right. Which is the harder part.
It is, but it's a process and it's one of those things I've seen many of them say, if you believe in it and you trust in it, it will happen. And sometimes it is that timing. Like I said, I recognized that my timing of starting and being able to get access to all of those things was not really conducive for my ability to put it all together as quickly as I did.
Mhm.
It kind of held me back in that aspect just because most people it does take a lot longer to get through. Then they have their vision. A lot of the people are also using it to start up an in-home type of situation, which is not an option for me. And so all those pieces, when they do come together, is ready for them to start in the next school year, where I was kind of
Right.
trying to start it right then. And I would have done better if I had started it in the April one, just because
Hmm.
that's closer to the end of the school year. I would have been able to apply those things, have the summer, and move forward. But
You're actually
hindsight's
coming into a
2020.
good point now where people are starting to look for fall for their kiddos.
Right.
And so you actually, you may not have been able to start right now, like right when you came into the preschool all stars, but you're entering in the
The
2025 where you're
season.
able to
Yep.
now start for fall and summer. People are going to be looking. So you're actually you had missed a one, but you're actually right now entering into a great time.
Right.
Um, so
And I
yeah.
haven't given up on it yet. I as a teacher and as an entrepreneur, I guess, with the insurance kind of helped me in that perspective of, it's definitely not a get rich quick thing.
No.
It's something that does take time to build and to build that book of business and those people and things like that. And so at least I was kind of prepared for that. So I'm not so frustrated that it didn't take off right away, but I have I have it in my head and I have that vision of what I know it can look like. It's just a matter of finding that window of opportunity
Right.
and then running with it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lauren, for joining me today. I appreciate, everything that you shared with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
To learn more and to join Preschool All Stars, go to preschoolallstars.com and we'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you again, Lauren. Find the button.